Have you ever wanted to cook a nice dinner but never wanted to do the work for it? Well, I got something nice here for you. I'm going to cook a rice pilaf, show you how to do it. Number one thing you're always going to want to do is follow a recipe. I have my recipe here from Chef K from Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. He walked me through how to do such a nice dish in such an easy amount of time. The first thing you want to do is always gather your mise en place. So the first thing I did before the video to save some time is to gather my mise en place. So I'm going to have chopped onion, I have long grain rice, I have 2 cups of boiling stock here. And the main flavor points of this dish is always going to be our bay leaves, salt and pepper. Simple, done correct. That's my motto. So what I always start with is come over, get your pan nice and hot. Turn your oven on, 350. Make sure your oven is fully preheated before you put your rice into the oven. Otherwise, you may not have the same result as what I'm showing you today. As your pan's getting hot, you can gather your mise. Mise en place in French is just preparation. It's you gathering your ingredients beforehand to make your job seamless. Add your butter to your warm pan. You're going to let your butter cook down fully before you add your onions in. Grab my spatula here. I'm going to move that butter around real nice. Distribute some heat around it. As my butter is just about melted, I'll add 2 ounces or a half of a white onion that I brunoise. Brunoising an onion is just cutting it into the finest dice you possibly can. You want your onion to mesh with your rice. You don't want bigger pieces of onion than your rice. You want to take a bite and your bite is a little bit of everything. As you can see, my pan's a little hot here. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, go down to about a medium heat. I'm going to cook my onions until translucent, no more, no less. If you cook them a little too much, you're going to get a caramelized flavor, which takes away from the dish. If you cook them under, you're going to have an onion that has too much of a bite with your rice. You want your onions to be just right, that Goldilocks. Right now, the pilaf method is more or less just braising. Braising is starting something in a pan with a sear, adding liquid, and cooking until done. So with this rice method, it's equal parts volume. You want the volume to match. The butter adds the fat, which keeps everything separated while it cooks. So instead of when you pull your rice out, instead of having a big clump of rice, a big mesh, it is nice separated. You get nice spoonfuls, no sticky, not too soft, a nice bite to it. So as you can see, my onions are becoming a little translucent. There's the oven. The oven's preheated. Translucent as in you can see through. They're becoming see-through. When I hit this point, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to grab my rice. You're going to add your 1 cup of rice to your 2 ounces of butter, or 2 ounces of onion, my apologies, and 1 ounce of butter. You just want to coat. So what I like to do, I'll give it 2 nice stirs. I'm going to cut that heat all the way off. You don't need that heat. You don't want to brown your rice. You don't want to crisp it up. You just want that fat to coat over it. So once again, as it's cooking, it's not going to stick together. There we go. You can see the result. Sticky, nice. It's got that glisten, that sheen to it. Now, as you can see, my stock is at a rolling boil. You want it it needs to be at least a rolling boil. I'm going to cut the heat on that. Safety first, always grab a towel, don't burn yourself. You're going to pour your rolling boil chicken stock into your pan. We always use chicken stock here for flavor. You could use water. Water's a good substitute, but I'm a man of flavor. I like to make sure that everybody enjoys every bite of their food. We're going to fully incorporate. I'm going to come back over here, grab 2 bay leaves, drop it in. I have some crushed black pepper, fresh crushed. I like to grind it myself. Set that back. We're gonna add probably about 2 teaspoons of salt. I wouldn't recommend measuring in your hand at home. I'm a chef, I'm a professional. You're gonna come, grab your foil. You wanna wrap your rice. Be once again very careful. Safety first. This pan is very hot. Wrap it as tight as possible. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna put it in the oven. Set a timer. 20 minutes. 18 to 20 minutes. You could check it after 18 if you're confident. I like to let it go for the full 20 just for the better result. Now, like they show in the cooking shows, I had one ready already. Pull some magic. And here is your result. You see that beautiful glisten, that black pepper. Come over here, give it a nice stir. Perfect result. After 20 minutes, that rice is fully cooked, and come over here and grab a spoon. Just perfect. Couldn't be better.